On to the first section of Chapter 6, which is on pronoun person. And there are a couple of key concepts here. First of all, let's make sure we understand what person means. As you probably remember, we have first person, second person, third person. First person is singular, is I in its forms, and plural is we in its forms. Second person is you and you. By the way, thee and thou used to be the familiar second person in English. No longer is, but I know some of you still are familiar with that concept from your foreign language study. And then third person, he, she, it, and their forms, and they and them, and the forms of they and them. Okay, so those are the different kinds of person, and one of the decisions anybody makes when he or she writes is, what person am I going to use? If I'm writing a short story, am I going to write in first person? Am I going to write in third person? Am I going to write in second person, which of course is rare. We've already talked a little bit about person in terms of when you use these various persons. There are, as you know, some conventions about which person to use when we write about literature. So we avoid writing in second person when we write about literature. We don't want to tell someone what he or she thinks about a book. We don't say, you must see, when we're writing about literature. In other kinds of writing, you can use you. You may want to use first person. You may want to use third person. So there are some decisions there about which person to use. Sort of a basic writing strategy. In terms of this section and this chapter, though, the most important thing is that we want to be consistent in our use of a person. We don't want to switch in one sentence or one paragraph from one person to another. And just for some examples, I've asked you to do the even-numbered sentences. And these are ones that we'll go over on these videos and also in class. The answers to these are not in the back of the book. The answers to the odd-numbered questions are in the back of the book, and you can always look at those for guidance on how to answer these questions. So for number 2, for example, in exercise 6.1, she always cares how we are doing, and if we are having problems, she wants us to talk to her. She will listen and make a suggestion about what you might do. Well, we've gone from she cares about how we are doing, so third person and first person, to she will listen and make a suggestion about what you might do. So it's gone from first person we to second person you, and we need to fix that. She will listen and make a suggestion about what we might do would be one way to repair that group of sentences. Number 4, to be great means that you do things for other people rather than spend all of one's time on himself. Well, there are actually several problems there. As you know from our grammar tip of the week, you don't say one's time on himself. You would have to say one's time on oneself. But for the purposes of this section, you do things rather than spend all of your time on yourself. We're going to make it all second person or all third person. You could say to be great means that one does things for other people rather than spend all of one's time on oneself. So those are just a couple of examples of being consistent in the use of person.